I'm Kelly from Creative Genie. You may have already read a little bit about me from my blog. This is the first of a few videos that I'm going to make in the form of online courses to try and help get artists in particular started and confident on social media. I'm lucky enough to work for a local arts organisation, and this content really has been inspired hugely by working with our artists, ranging from people that are just starting out to sort of professional artists that are selling their work fairly regularly. One thing that pretty much all of us have in common is that, there's this sort of feeling about social media that, people are not quite sure, they're not quite sure how to use it. They say to me, I really haven't got a clue about Twitter or Facebook, or why should I use it? How does it benefit me as an artist? What is the point? And why should I spend my precious time learning how to do this? So the aim of these videos is very much to just very quickly give you the tools you need to get started. It's really focused on free marketing for yourself as an artist. There's a very popular blog online that suggests that as artists, we should be spending 80% of our time marketing and 20% of our time making art. If that's the case, it's probably one of the most uninspiring things I've ever read with regard to being an artist. And I think, it's really important to try and flip that. So Creative Genie is very, very much about making these things work for us to be honest with you, the minimum amount of time that we can get away with. I'm sure many of you are in the similar situation to myself. I've got my family, I've got a couple of other jobs. Studio time and time to actually make work is incredibly precious. And I don't want to spend a few days a week in front of my computer marketing. Obviously, it's partly my job, but aside from that, for the rest of us, it's very much about, keeping it in a way that it works for us, it's effective, and it's not a huge time monkey or something that's just sort of perpetually daunting. So that really is the aim of these videos. It is to get you going, to give you the information you need. So this particular course is going to just go over Twitter for you. We're going to do a quick tour around the page just to orientate you, just to show you how it works. We're going to go all the way through it to putting together your first tweet. Most importantly, also finding your network on Twitter. It's all very well signing up and logging in, but I'm going to show you how to find your network, what you should be looking for, and how to take it forward on a kind of 5 minutes a day basis, which I hope fits with with what people are saying to me that they want. So the format of these videos, as you can see, you've been stuck listening to me with a static Twitter screen, which is not very exciting, possibly better than a video of me, so that's why I've decided to do that. But they are done as screen recordings, which means that I'm showing you around the page in real time. So it's as if, it relates directly to what you'll see on your screen when you're doing it for yourself. Also, you can please use this video, have a look through, watch the whole thing, as with all of my videos, come back to it, maybe have my video playing and a Twitter window open at the same time so that you can work across both. Pause it, come back to it, take the information you need. I'll try and keep it fairly concise. I'm not going to go into every last detail of how Twitter works. Just want to give you what you need to feel confident to take it forward yourself. And hopefully that will happen, and it'll work on that basis. Anyway, huge thanks for listening, and I look forward to seeing you on Twitter and following you and getting your first tweets, and I hope that you find it enjoyable and useful. Please do feedback on these videos. These are very much a work in progress for me. I've never done online video. As I say, it just seems like the best way to give this information, really, in a way that's convenient. one of the main reasons that Twitter is a fantastic platform, and in fact, you know, Instagram and Facebook too, but social media is, it's free marketing, and particularly on Twitter, it's a really fantastic level platform that you can connect yourself as an artist, no matter how, you know, kind of small you feel you are in the scheme of things. Actually, you can connect right across with the big galleries, with local organisations. You can find opportunities. You know, it's a fantastic level platform. It's completely free, just requires a bit of time, no money, a little bit of a willingness to understand it and engage with it. And of course, we don't have to actually go out to do it. We can do it from the comfort of our own home. You can download the app if you have a smartphone and do it on the go. But yeah, the way to move forward, I'm suggesting with Creative Genie is, you know, 5 minutes a day, so a little bit of time to set up your account and get things looking great, and then 5 minutes a day moving forward, and you should hopefully have a really fantastic start to building something quite serious on Twitter that will get your work out there, it will get you seen. If you can link it through to your Facebook or your blog or whatever you have, that's great. If you don't have that stuff in place, that's fine too. Twitter's great on its own. So anyway, I hope you find it useful. Do feedback to me, and we will begin. Go to www.twitter.com. This will be their homepage. If you don't have an account already, that's not a problem. Just go up to the top right and complete their sign up process. It's very straightforward, just a few details, and you can log in and create your account. I'm just going to log into my existing account already because it just makes much more sense to show you around an existing account that has some content. So this is how my Twitter looks when I log in. And I think the first thing really is to just give you a show round. I remember looking at Twitter for the first time a few years ago and just being completely confuzzled by the whole sort of language of it, really. The whole format is quite simple, and that can be a little bit misleading because it's actually very, very powerful. Be careful not to overthink it. It's a really simple format. I think one of the first things to show you would be down here on the left-hand side, which is your trending topics. This is where hashtags come into play, and where Twitter's a really powerful platform for social media because it organises all of the conversation. So if you're using a hashtag in your tweets, they will come up in a Twitter will organise them into its own newsfeed, which means that you will be much more likely to be found by other people and people that might be interested in your work. So for example, let's just have a look down here. Often these trending subjects are basically what people are tweeting about the most with their hashtags. So often it can be, you know, breaking news or a big football game or anything that's happening. This morning we have the John Lewis Christmas advert has just been released, and that's what people are tweeting about the most this morning. It does change throughout the day. Yesterday we had some pretty massive news, and so Twitter was pretty sure Twitter nearly broke actually with the American elections going on. So these will change throughout the day. We'll come back to these because you can use it quite powerfully to sort of pitch your own tweets, but we'll come back to it. So for example, if I click on Buster the Boxer this morning, you can see all of the conversations. Anybody that has used hashtag Buster the Boxer, their conversation appears, their tweet appears in this news feed. So I won't scroll down too much because it's been brought to my attention it makes people a little bit travel sick if I scroll too much on my videos. But that just shows you how the trending subjects work just quickly. At any point on Twitter, if you get a little bit lost, just go top left and that'll take you to your homepage, which is here. So down here on the left, you've got your trending topics, which keep changing. in the center of your page here, this also changes constantly, as you can see. It's changing as we speak. This is a newsfeed that's made up of anybody that I have followed on Twitter. All of their tweets appear here. So this is everybody that I'm interested in. So there are a lot of, you know, art people, there are a lot of local businesses, there are some of the big art galleries. Some people I'm following because I like their content, because I might retweet it. You know, there are lots of different reasons for following people. Any of their tweets come up in this newsfeed in the centre. So over here on the right hand side, you have your who to follow, which is really, really key part of Twitter. It really helps you to build your network. It will always come up with a list. It will learn the kind of topics that you are interested in. So, you know, if you're a sculptor, sculptress, and are interested in, you know, sculpture and materials and galleries and all that kind of thing, Twitter will pretty quickly learn what kind of thing you're interested in, and will suggest people to follow based on your interests. So really good thing to do is to click on the view all, if you can just see that top right of the screen there, just to show you this. And this brings me up a lovely list of accounts that Twitter thinks that I may be interested in. Here's a very nice one. This one, the Hawthorne Gallery. I can see if I'm interested or not by just, if I can hover over, it will show me a little synopsis of the account. Please don't worry so much about who to follow. There's not really any etiquette. People won't, you know, that it's not the same as on Facebook where, you know, it's suggested, you know, you should like for like and that kind of thing. There's no hard feelings if you unfollow somebody, if you follow them, it's all absolutely fine. Just going to click on the Hawthorne Gallery. Oh, they're nice cows. And I can see just quickly at a glance that they have a very substantial Twitter presence. They've got along the top here, just above their newsfeed, it tells me, you know, they've got sort of nearly 33,000 followers. They've got 114,000 tweets. So they're quite an established Twitter account. So I'm not going to hesitate. I know that's up my street. I'm going to follow them. And that will mean that their tweets will now appear in my newsfeed. And again, Twitter will help me out and suggest other accounts. Why has it suggested that? Okay, it will suggest other accounts that it thinks I might like to follow. So that's how you can sort of build your network. That's one of the ways, is to use this who to follow on the right hand side. Okay, I'm just getting a little bit distracted. Okay, so just to show you around your basic Twitter page, the top right of your page here, you have your settings. This is a really important one. I'm not going to go through it in too much detail, but in here, just under your profile picture, are your account settings, and in here is where you can change you know, your username. You can change whether you want notifications about things. You can delete your account if you wish. You can mute people, block people, turn on or off your notifications. All of your admin for Twitter is in there. I won't go through it because it's fairly self-explanatory, but that's where to find it. Okay, so top left of your page here, this is your personal bit. This is how you look to other people as well. This Creative Genie account isn't very old. It needs a little bit of TLC. I need to sort of get cracking with it, really. You can see I've only put together 107 tweets. So it's a relatively new account. Just to show you how my page looks, a really important part of all of the marketing that we talk about at Creative Genie is to use your images across all of the social media, across your website. So I have this lovely big wide banner image that I made myself, just from a little collage and a photo that was taken on my table and a bit of editing. But I use that consistently throughout my social media so that people can straight away say, oh yeah, that's definitely her. They can either run in the opposite direction or they can follow me, whichever they prefer. It's not a problem, but I think consistency is really important. Twitter is such a fast platform. You haven't got too long before people will, flit off somewhere else. So they need to instantly recognise you if they can. Lovely big image of an artwork in here would be very nice. Try and keep it the same. So just to show you how you would edit all of your information, do spend a few minutes just getting your page looking lovely. Use the same images across social media. I say it again and again and again. It's so important. Have your page looking lovely, your website in here, your bio, before you go off and start exploring Twitter. That way, if anybody does want to connect with you, they know who you are, and you should get a few followers back pretty quickly once you've done that. So over here on the right hand side, about halfway down the screen here, if you click on edit profile, you will see that you can change all of this content. You have quite a small space really to put in your your bio. Keep it quite snappy. Twitter's very, very quick place. So in here you can change your images just in the usual way by uploading a photo from your desktop, and here, and then obviously click on save changes when you're done, and you can just see how your page is coming together. So this is my page again. Don't forget that I clicked on my Creative Genie to bring me to this page, and in the centre here, this is my newsfeed, which is public, so anybody that wants to work out if they want to follow me or not, this is all completely public, and therefore my content is appropriate to that, so I don't put anything on here that's particularly personal. It's all very tailored to be creative, to have a little bit personal stuff, to sort of show a bit of personality. Yes, my Halloween outfit. The first time I've ever dressed up for Halloween. It was enormous fun. I'm probably a bit too old, but anyway. So this is your page, and it's your space to present yourself as you wish. Okay, so let's have a look. Let's go back home. Just to explain to you also, these along the top of your Twitter window here on the left, you will see you have your notifications tab here, which is going to let you know of anybody that's retweeted you or liked you or followed you. It's a good place to check in when you first log into your Twitter. So have a look at that. We've had a look around Twitter. Hopefully you're feeling a bit more confident and it's starting to make sense to you. We've got your personal Twitter page looking lovely and ready to have some followers. Next really important thing, go and grab a cup of tea and we can find your network on Twitter, and things can start to be a bit more exciting. You will begin to populate your newsfeed, which is your bit in the middle here, and find accounts that you want to follow that you're interested in. So your most powerful tool here is over on the right hand side, your who to follow button, and I'm just going to click on view all. Twitter has a really, really powerful algorithm for learning what type of accounts you're personally interested in, based on the follows that you already make. So when you first begin on Twitter, you might find that these suggestions in the middle here are a little bit generic. But as you follow more accounts, Twitter's going to learn what kind of thing you like, and this will become a much better resource for you. For example, let's just hover over one here. Some of these you'll know straight away that you want to follow them because perhaps they're local, perhaps they're people you already know, perhaps they're galleries, perhaps they're art suppliers, brands that you know. Daler Rowney have got a nice account on here, follow those guys. what to look for is, things that are particularly relevant to you or your work. So you're looking to build your kind of dream network, really. So have that in mind. I'm just going to hover over this account here, Global Art Company, Worldwide Art Gallery, assuming it's online. Just going to click on one of them. Okay, so I can see exactly, I can scroll down and have a look at their content. I won't sort of waste our time by doing that now. But the key things about who to follow, these guys have 19 odd thousand followers, which means that if I were to tweet to them or they retweet anything that's from my Twitter feed, it's going to come up on their feed, which has, nearly 20,000 followers. So that's where you get the kind of exposure that you just can't really get anywhere else. I mean, even on Facebook, it would really be going some to gain that kind of exposure. So do look for some of these accounts that have the big numbers. If you look at somebody's account and, they've got sort of 20 tweets and, 50 followers and they're not following anybody, it's either a new person like us, or it's somebody who's really not using their Twitter account. So, probably don't worry too much about following them. Okay, so that's how to just sort of have an at a glance look at whether things are interesting to you. You can follow. I'm now following them. You can, as simple as that, unfollow them as well. So perhaps I've had the occasion where I've had an account that I followed and they're posting far too much, or it's not quite the sort of content that I want, or it's a bit annoying, or there's, they're doing just active, something I'm not interested in. You can just unfollow. Nobody really minds. Nobody really notices. It's absolutely fine. So come back to your who to follow page on Twitter every now and again. Have a look through here, and that's going to really help build your network. I'm going to go to the search bar at the top, just towards the right-hand side of your screen. This is the other really powerful way to find accounts on Twitter. I recently had a search for sculpture. If you're a sculptor, sculpture's your bag. Just do a search for sculpture, and what will come up will be a suggestion. So you've got on the top here, you can view all of the accounts that mention sculpture. So straight away you can see I've got some of the big accounts on here. Yorkshire Sculpture Park. Let's just hover over. Is it going to give me that? Okay. Lovely big account, sort of nearly 43,000 followers. If sculpture's your thing, you should definitely be following these guys. One of the other elements of Twitter is that hopefully, not always, it very much depends, but hopefully they will follow you. If you are a sculptor and have lots of that kind of work on your feed and on your website, they should give you a follow back. And how wonderful if any of these big accounts, Yorkshire Sculpture Park or even Cass Sculpture, were to retweet some of your work. Again, huge exposure. It's absolutely lovely. So one of the things to keep in mind when you're using Twitter is creating posts that are shareable, that other people would like to look at. So, good images is key as well. If I just scroll down, you can see there are dozens and dozens of suggestions of accounts to follow. So you can very, very quickly build your followers, your following, in this way, just by using the search facility at the top. I'm just going to scroll up very quickly. Sorry about that. If you go to top here, just over on the left, that's going to give you the top tweets. So that's going to give you tweets themselves, okay? And perhaps not so much content of actual accounts to follow, but you will find some good people. Okay. One of the other really important things to search for is your hometown, really, for your local area. I'm in Hertfordshire. Okay, so do a search again of your local area. Okay, go to the view all. And again, I can see lots of accounts on there. You know, there's my local radio station, there's the local police, local organisations, the council, you know, there's the chamber meetings, news, all kinds of interesting stuff, local councils, other organisations that might be of use to me. Smaller galleries you may find here as well. Lots and lots of researches. Oh, a knitting and sewing boutique in Hertfordshire. God, that looks lovely. Sorry, I've seen a squirrel. Okay, that looks lovely. Anyway, so see something that catches your eye. You know, you can go and have a look at their website. This is how Twitter works. People really do click through and look at your website straight away from Twitter. You know, this is, I'm just going off on a bit of a tangent here. Very nice website. Sewing's not really my thing, but I have a massive, you know, attraction to fabric. Anyway, so, okay. So, you know, again, I could follow that if that was of interest to me and see what these guys get up to. If it was something that I was particularly aligned with my work, then I could send them a little tweet and just say hello. Okay, we're going to come back to that, so I won't go into that now. Anyway, so use your search bar at the top. You know, use your keywords. Whether you're interested in, you know, other materials, use your keywords, use your local area. Those are the things that are going to give you a really good starting point. And then from that point on, you should find that when you go to your who to follow over here, it's going to be even better for you. Okay, so that's how you can start to build your network. I think we're nearly ready to send our first tweet. It's a bit like the grand finale of this whole part of the course, to be honest with you. We will come to that in a second. Here's a really good example that's just come up on my newsfeed here from Slumber Monkey Design 2 minutes ago. I'm just going to click on this because I want to show you how you can interact with the tweet. This is a really good example. This is probably you know, what you really want to be aiming for when you're creating a tweet or putting something together. You have 140 characters of text, which includes any links, it includes any hashtags. So you do have to get to the point. You can't sort of, you know, give too much information in here. So it's important that you get this bit right. So she's used an image, really important as well. Nice hashtag there, button jewellery, obviously that's what they're specialising in. Hashtag Etsy. If you have an Etsy shop, please shout about it on Twitter. You can pop a link in as well. This one has a link directly to Twitter, so hopefully it's going to take me straight to her page and I can see quickly other things she does, how much they cost. I can order it. I can literally, I'm like 2 clicks away from ordering it. I can see where she is. Oh, they're nice. I can see where she is. I can see a bit of bio. Etsy's fantastic. That's another video, really. But that's how easily, you know, make sure that if you have your work listed for sale somewhere, that people, you know, don't be afraid to show people clearly where to buy it from. And that's a really good example of how Etsy works absolutely brilliantly. I'm a huge fan of Etsy. You could click on, have a look at the Etsy news feed as well. She's been busy, look. She's done some others here too. Working hard on Twitter. Okay. They're lovely. Ooh. Hedgehogs. Okay, so another nice tweet here from these guys. If you look at the bottom of this tweet, this is kind of the business end and where people will get involved with you. You have the option to reply. So I could reply and say hello, compliment her on her work. I'm assuming this is a lady. I'm assuming it is. So this is how you can directly communicate with people that are on Twitter. You don't have to know people. If I have something positive to say or I like her work, then you know, feel free to use that. Next to that, you have the retweets, which means that this would then appear in my Twitter feed. So it's a lovely way of increasing people's coverage on Twitter, their exposure. Next to that, you have the like button. Again, a lot of us work on our own, don't we, creatively speaking? And it's a nice way to, when people share something on Twitter, don't be afraid to like or retweet them. You know, if it's applicable to you, if it's something that I think that my Twitter audience would like, I will retweet it so it's in my timeline. If it's something that I just like and I want to give a nod to it, to go, yeah, I really, really appreciate what you're doing, then I can like it. And that will come up in her notifications, and hopefully it's just a lovely nod when people do like your output on Twitter. So that's how you can interact with each tweet. You can give it a like, a retweet, or you can reply directly. This, you know, it's very easy to retweet and like things. Replying directly is something that I need to do much more of, personally speaking. Okay.